What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a brand spanking new episode of Worlds TV. If you guys are new, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment, and turn on that bell notification right at the top to stay up to date with recent content on this channel. Also, don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms at Worlds TV on X and Instagram, and Worlds TV on TikTok. And today we got to talk about the Trump administration and the Department of Education will restart payments for student loans starting May 5th and will collect defaulted federal student loans debt by withholding tax refunds, federal pensions, and even your wages. Yes, this is a thing that's going to take place and it's going to happen. So first, let's take a look at this press conference from Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. This is what she had to say just a few short days ago. Here we go.
In other news, the Trump administration has announced we will put an end to Joe Biden's illegal student loan bailout attempts. No student loan has been referred to collection since March of 2020. That comes to an end. On May 5th, the Department of Education will resume involuntary collections for borrowers with defaulted federal student loans. The student loan portfolio controlled by the federal government is nearly $1.6 trillion, but fewer than 4 out of 10 borrowers are in repayment. This is unsustainable, unfair, and a huge liability for American taxpayers. Debt cannot be wiped away. It just ends up getting transferred to others. So why should Americans who didn't go to college or went to college and responsibly paid back their loans pay for the student loans of other Americans? The Trump administration...
You know, I like that Caroline Leavitt said that, well, why should people be responsible for paying other people's loans? Hell, why should taxpayers be responsible for paying student loans? And if you went to college and you were irresponsible by taking $100,000 to $200,000 worth of debt, you should pay it all back. Really, Caroline Leavitt, because remind me, last time I checked, wasn't it a whole bunch of congressmen and congresswomen who took out those PPP loans, and a lot of them got their loans forgiven, especially a lot of Republicans? Let's take a look at this list right here. Let's see. Matt Gaetz from out of Florida had a $476,000 PPP loan that was forgiven, wiped away clean. No taxpayer had to pay back. Let's look at Greg Pence out of Indiana, got a $79,441 PPP loan forgiven, wiped away clean. Let's look at I don't know how you pronounce his last name, Buchanan. $2.8 million in PPP loans completely wiped away, forgiven. Let's look at Kevin Herm out of Oklahoma. $1.07 million in PPP loans forgiven. Let's look at Roger Williams out of Texas. $1.43 million in PPP loans totally forgiven. Let's look at Ralph Norman out of South Carolina. Had 306,520 PPP loans completely forgiven, wiped away clean. Hell, let's look at Brett Guthrie out of Kentucky. Had $4.3 million in PPP loans completely forgiven. Hell, Mike Kelly out of Pennsylvania, $974,100 of PPP loans completely forgiven. You guys get the gist of what I'm saying. If you guys want to look at this as marketrealist.com, and for some of you guys be like, well, you know, that's not a real verified site. Okay, go on congress.gov. Go on congress.gov, has the list right here. Republican members of Congress whose PPP loans were completely forgiven. You see the same list. You see the exact same list. Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor, Greg Pence, Kevin Herm, all Republicans who had hundreds of thousands, close to millions of dollars in PPP loans completely wiped away and forgiven. So I don't want to hear that bullshit. Also, too, since Trump is pushing, hey, people should pay back their student loans. No loan should not be paid back. Caroline Leavitt, you said no loan should not be paid back. You should pay back every single cent to your student loans. Well, the almighty President Donald Trump, had $280 million in debt forgiven, wiped away clean. And taxpayers do not have to pay a single dime for that. Interesting. Let's see. The forgiven debts largely were because of the construction of the 92-story skyscraper in Chicago, which completed just as the Great Recession took underway. Also, you guys know Trump is very, very big into the real estate game. So Trump Towers, Trump through two of his LLCs had taken out more than $700 million in loans for projects from Germany's Deutsche Bank and Fortress Investment Group, a private equity firm. Trump refused to pay his debts when it came due, instead suing for predatory lending practices and seeking $3 billion in damages against Deutsche Bank. The lenders, knowing Trump's reputation for liquidus, I don't know how to pronounce that, excuse me, and fondness for airing disputes out in public, chose to negotiate a settlement in which they forgave $270 million worth of debt that Trump was responsible for. So again, I voted for Donald Trump. I'll make that perfectly 100% clear. And this is me not agreeing with how he's going about these student loan payments, because again, this is going to affect 5 million people who have had their debts that are in default. But meanwhile, you have Republican congressmen, you have Donald Trump himself, who had millions of dollars in loans forgiven. And they want to bitch and moan and complain to you guys, saying you guys should be responsible for paying your student loans. Meanwhile, they have not paid back their own fucking debt. They haven't paid shit back. So I don't want to hear that, well, it's irresponsible for you to not pay back your debt. Meanwhile, look at these list of Republicans and look at what Donald Trump refused to pay back and had his loans forgiven. This is going to affect nearly 5 million people, guys. 5.3 million people, to be exact, are going to have possibly their wages garnished, property seized because of their student loan repayment. And this is the thing. Why in the fuck? Why in the hell? Are colleges so damn expensive? You have college tuitions that are pushing $100,000 a year, 6 figures. The national average salary for Americans is right around 50 something thousand dollars. So you mean to tell me if you want to send your kid to quote unquote a good school, they're going to have to be coughing up more than they make in a year? You got schools charging 70, 80, $100,000 a year for tuition. In 4 years, that's almost 400 grand. A, colleges do not need to be that damn fucking expensive. B, you want to say, well, why don't you look at trade school? Trade school's also starting to get expensive. Well, and not everybody and their mother can go to trade school. Some things that you want to learn for, like maybe doctors, lawyers, you have to go to college. And that's not just a 4-year degree. That's 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years. You got to have your master's in those programs. So when people leave, they are in $200,000 plus in student loan debt, and they're not going to get a good high-paying job right off the bat. It's going to take them years. So the school system was meant to keep people in debt and work until they die. So colleges should not be charging an arm and a leg and a kidney just to send kids to school. Secondly, again, I find it very, very fucking offensive and hypocritical that you have this bitch, Caroline Levitt, talk about, well, you guys should pay back all your debt. It's not right. The American taxpayer should not be footing the bill because you were irresponsible with your money. Meanwhile, look at all these Congress members who had their PPP loans forgiven. Wiped clean. Not a single taxpayer had to pay for their irresponsible money management. And these are the same Republicans who are pushing for you guys to pay back all your student loans. But look at how much money they got forgiven. Again, it's all right there. I already read the list. You want to do your own homework? Go on congress.gov and type in Republican members of Congress whose PPP loans were forgiven. Forgiven. Wiped clean. They don't owe a damn thing. It didn't even exist. And again, to our almighty President Donald Trump himself had 270, if not $280 million in debt. Totally clean. Wiped away clean. Don't have to pay a dime for it. See the hypocrisy we're talking about? We see the hypocrisy. We see the double standard. We see the bullshit. This is why people do not trust Congress. Absolutely insane for Caroline Levitt to say something as disgusting, as repulsive as this. Let's let her finish. Come on, Caroline.
Will never force taxpayers to pay student loan debts that don't belong to them. Student loan borrowers need clarity, and we're finally giving it to them. Borrowers will now be clearly expected to repay their loans, and those who default on their loan obligations will face involuntary collections. The government can and will collect defaulted federal student loan debt by withholding money from borrowers tax refunds, federal pensions, and even their wages.
Mm.
America is $36 trillion in debt. We must get our fiscal house in order and restore common sense to our
Okay,
country.
then how about you guys stop fucking spending money? You had Doge that uncovered billions of dollars of fraudulent, wasteful abuse of taxpayer dollars. What happened to the supposed $5,000 refunds that you were going to send back to people after you found all those fraudulent spending? You guys spend more money than you make. The government outspends more money than they collect, and that's why they're in fucking debt. Stop fucking spending money. You want to talk about, hey, the deficit is too high. We killed Democrats. We killed Joe Biden for spending a shit ton of fucking money. We need to do the same thing with this president. I am not MAGA. I'm not a left. I'm not the right. I'm a centralist. I call out bullshit how I see it. You want to talk about we need to get that under control. I agree. So then stop fucking spending money yourself. Asking and demanding people, again, over 5 million people who had their debts forgiven, to say, well, if you don't pay that back, we're going to collect your wages. That's going to affect your credit score. It's going to go debt collectors. That is going to tank the economy. Especially you're the ones who saying, well, we're going to make the economy great for the middle class. This ain't going to fucking help. Especially, again, you are also the fucking same party, the Republicans, who had their PPP loans wiped away clean. And you have the nerve to come on national television and say you should pay back your debt. Meanwhile, your debts were completely wiped. Give me a fucking break, man. This is utterly bullshit. I may not agree with Kamala Harris on a lot of things, but I agreed with her on this. I agree with Joe Biden on this. I agree with the left, with the Democrats on this particular topic. Colleges were meant to destroy, not hurt. They were meant to put you in debt, not prosper you. If PPP loans can be simply wiped away clean, forgiven, act like it didn't exist, then so can student loans. So can student loans. And somebody posted this on X, which was very, very true. 5.3 borrowers are in default to their federal student loans. Restarting loan payments will now cause credit scores to plummet and risk millions of Americans' abilities to participate in the economy. It's time we forgave student loans for working and middle-class families. I believe this is Cole. I don't know how you pronounce this guy's name, but this is Cole Cannon. And he's right. He's right. Thank you for saying that, my man. Somebody who has common sense. Lord Jesus. What do you guys think about this? Do you guys agree, disagree with my commentary on this? I think you guys should agree. If you guys have student loans out there, it should have been forgiven. Listen, the Supreme Court told Joe Biden, you can't forgive student loans. He said, well, I'm going to do it anyway. And guess what? They let him do it. They let him fucking do it. Because it's like, well, PPP loans were completely wiped away clean. So why can't you just say throw away the loans? Throw away the student loans. Guys, the Federal Reserve prints money. Our government prints fucking money. They print billions of dollars every single day. So don't tell me that they need to get the money from somewhere. They can just print it. Now, again, it does devalue the value of a dollar, but they don't give a fuck. You think they give a fuck about that shit? Hey, we need money. Yo, start printing some more. Boom, just like that. They need $100 billion. They'll have that in less than a minute. Go to the machine, hit the print button, boom. They got $100 billion. So I don't want to hear that bullshit that Caroline Levitt talk about, oh, well, you know, we need to lower the physical debt and we need to do all this and that. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Shut up. And again, I like some of the things that you say. I agree with some of the things that you say, but on this particular subject, hell fucking no. You miss me with this bullshit. I don't agree with it at all. Especially you're the party, the Republicans, who had a lot of PPP loans, again, forgiven. So don't try to give a lesson, a history lesson, to try to chastise people about paying back their debts when you have a president who didn't pay back his debt. When you have your party who had millions of PPP loans completely forgiven. Completely forgiven. Look at those numbers. Completely forgiven. So I don't want to hear that shit. But you guys let me know what you guys think about my commentary. What do you guys think about student loan repayments starting on May 5th? And if you do not pay, it's going to go to collections. You may have your money garnished. property garnished, federal pensions, or tax returns withheld. Crazy world that we live in. We need to get the fuck out of America, man. Let me know what you guys think about this. Again, don't forget to follow us on social media, subscribe, like, and comment, turn on the bell notification. I'll catch you guys later. Stay safe. God bless.